Joining me now is Fahim Sadat. He's an analyst on Afghanistan affairs, joining us live from Kabul, Afghanistan, to talk to us about Afghanistan peace talks and the delay there, American troops withdrawal, and also the Pakistan hotel blast. Good morning, Fahim. Thanks for joining NewsHour.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Now, the most important issue on the agenda is the Istanbul conference. Please tell us why the Taliban has said it will not participate in dialogue anytime soon.
Well, the postponement of the Istanbul conference should not be a surprise for several reasons. One, the timeline was apparently rushed. And second, a common agenda from both sides was yet to be concluded, which did not happen yet. And most importantly, the May 1 pushback by the U.S. administration is the main cause of Taliban not being positive for participation in the conference. I believe the Taliban would now push for some concessions by the U.S. Before joining any conference, which likely seems that their Taliban, the prisoners which are with the Kabul administration and as well as their leaders in the UN block list would be issues they would negotiate with the Taliban. So I believe until the Taliban do not reach into a conclusion by the pushback of the May 1 deadline, they will not participate at any conference, which they believe the non-participation could be used as an advantage in this situation, because according to them, the ball is sort of in the court of the U.S. because they have not been sort of appreciating the May 1 deadline, which was agreed in the Doha agreement.
Okay. Now, the Afghan government is saying that the Taliban's refusal to join such dialogue clearly shows that the group is unwilling to end the war. Is that the case here? Is the Taliban unwilling to end the war?
The government, we can blame the government also to some extent because there is still factionalism in the government and they are not a united house yet. But the Taliban, as I said before, the Taliban's participation in any peace negotiation was very selective. They participated where it was to their advantage, and then they ignored certain other things. At the moment, a delay will definitely play to the Taliban's advantage because the more they delay the process of the peace negotiation, the more there will be the American withdrawal, and the more there is the American withdrawal, the power vacuum will be created further. And the Taliban's calculation is that in the absence of a U.S. military presence, they will have more leverage over the issues, particularly in the peace negotiations, where they will be able to gain a larger part of the political power. So a delay is definitely to their advantage, and that makes them not participate on the terms of the government, but on their own terms at any coming conference.
Okay, now let's talk a bit about the withdrawal of American combat troops from Afghanistan. Will that be completed on time, or are we going to experience yet another delay?
Looking at the 5 or 6 months time span and the political will that exists within the political community in the U.S., a contingent of 2,500 shouldn't be difficult. It should be very easy for them to complete this withdrawal. But at the same time, looking at the U.S. military, high-ranking military officials' concerns that there will be grave consequences of a complete withdrawal, and as well as the difficulty of repositioning the special operation forces in Afghanistan's neighboring, and as well as the Taliban's non-willingness for a serious negotiation at the moment, will likely be factors that will make the completion of the withdrawal on the 11th September grim. So maybe we will witness a delays of sorts.
Okay. Now, the TTP claimed a deadly attack which took place in Quetta, Pakistan last night. What sort of a reaction could you expect from Pakistan, given the situation is growing increasingly tense at this stage?
Well, looking at the TTP's stronghold, which is basically the Pashtun tribal areas, and having a blast in the Quetta, which is more like a Baloch insurgency stronghold, I think this will send somehow shockwaves within the Pakistan security establishment, and apparently strengthen the perspective that an absolute power to the Taliban in Afghanistan after the U.S. withdrawal will somehow backfire, because in a shifting in an alliances shifting environment that is happening at the moment in the region. Whether at the moment there are good Talibans and bad Talibans, according to the Pakistan, where the Afghan Taliban are the good ones and the Pakistani Taliban are the bad ones. It is possible that with the time and with other allies, the good Taliban might change to bad Taliban in Afghanistan, and then looking at the situation where there is no ideological differences between the Afghan Taliban and the Pakistani Taliban, in the long run, an absolute power or a Taliban government in Afghanistan can backfire strategically to Pakistan.
Okay. Fahim, thank you very much for joining us for that and updating us there. Now, let's continue with the rest of the world news.